fables and fairy tales, and welcome back to my channel if you're returning, and welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's a very special video because I finally made a bed for my very favorite character, Briar Beauty, and I'm just going to show you it right now. So, ta-da! Oh my gosh, this is the second time I did a canopy. Coincidentally, it was for Ashlyn, her roommate, which you can see a little bit in the back there, but I'll plug that video up in the iCard, so if you're curious, you can watch that. But anyways, yeah, super happy with how this bed came out. I based it off of her bed that we see in the Throne Coming movie / webisode, as well as the bed that came with her playset in the Throne Coming kit. So yeah, I am super happy with how this came out. If you're also curious about what's the planning stage, because I'm going to try to start showing the sketching phase, you can see that on screen right now. This is just showing you what my thought process was going into this, and this also helps you pick out the supplies I needed, because with so many pink fabrics to choose from, you gotta limit it down because I can't use all 500 options that I possibly have. So anyways, before we get on to the video, I'm just going to plug my Instagrams real quick. If you want to follow me online and see sneak peeks of projects I'm working on or see what's happening in my daily life, you can follow me at pinky_girl513, as well as I'm a mermaid, fun fact. So if you're curious what that's about, you can follow my mermaid account at Alexandra the Mermaid. And yeah, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Let's go.
Alrighty, so I've already wrapped the smooth foam block with this fabric like a present, except it's not exactly like a present. I usually do that, but when I was cutting out the fabric, I made a mistake and forgot that. I was like, oh yeah, I have to cover all sides of this block, not just, all but one. So I just cut an extra piece of fabric to cover the bottom as a panels piece, and then I neatly as I could wrap the rest of the fabric around it. And thankfully, since it's such a heavily patterned fabric, you barely notice it, and it's like a carousel. You are only going to see, the outside, which needs to be pretty. The underside doesn't need to be pretty. It's fine. No one's going to see it. So yeah, it's good. Alrighty, for the headboard and footboard, I painted the briar branches that you might recognize from Fabel's bed. And so what I'm going to be trying to do is somewhat recreate, somewhat mimic the style of headboard and footboard she has in the webisodes, mainly featured in Throne Coming, as well as the bed that came with her Throne Coming playset. So yeah, we're just gonna assemble it, and yeah. And then I also painted a couple of dowel rods and popsicle sticks black for the structure of the bed, because we're also doing a canopy. And yes, of course, it is absolutely mandatory if you're making this to have a metal slinky break, because that's how you're going to get prepped to working with wire, even though you hate working with wire, but you're working with wire anyways because it's your favorite character and you're pulling out all the stops. So, stress relief. Alrighty, and here is the shape that I created out of the wire. Took forever to get exactly what I wanted, because like I said, I do not like working with wire, but I'm doing it anyways. But anyways, I attached it at the back with some hot glue and popsicle sticks, because I do not trust the combination of hot glue and wire, because it just never wants to stay. So the popsicle sticks are there to actually make sure it stays, because I want to make this last as long as possible. It doesn't get a lot of play, but I try to make these as sturdy as I can. But yeah, next what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking these pieces of briars, and I'm just going to be gluing them all along here to fill in that shape. Alrighty, and this is what the finished headboard looks like. I glued all the briars in there, and I also attached some silk flowers that I got from Celebrate It. And yeah, this is how it's looking. I have a few extra silk flowers that will be used for the footboard, but if I have extra after that, I'll add more to the headboard. But yeah, for the most part, everything is standing straight up, but I did have to weigh it down overnight. That I'll show you how I did that in a second. But yeah, I just laid it down and weighed it down just so I can get everything to stay up a little straighter. But yeah, this is how it's looking. Yeah, that's what I did overnight. But yeah, this is how it's looking. And now onto the footboard. And this is the wire shape I created for the footboard. I'm going to be doing the same thing as the headboard. The shape isn't perfect, but it'll be ironed out by adding all the extra things onto there. And now I have to take a puppy break because my dog has jumped up onto my lap. So yeah, Genevieve, who's a good little dog. Oh, who's a good little dog? Yeah, you like your head scratchies? Yeah, puppy likes to help craft. And this is what the finished footboard looks like. I also added some painted popsicle sticks here to kind of look like shiplap, just to cover up all the messiness of the briars underneath so no one has to know. But yeah, I also added the dowel rods to the corner of the bed so I could start working on the canopy, which at this moment in time, I did not know how I was going to exactly do it, but I figured it out after some consultation with my dad and then just figuring out some cool ideas. But yeah, I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. Alrighty, so for the canopy, I sewed this tube of fabric that I hemmed on the edges because that's going to be, shown on the outside. And yeah, just sewed it down the middle, and that center seam is just going to be on the underside where it's not likely to be seen as much. But yeah, and then I also painted some dowel rods black on the ends. Just on the ends, no point wasting drying time and whatnot. But yeah, I'm going to insert these on either end, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to get the canopy to actually lift up. But yeah, I'm going to be attaching these dowel rods to the top of the other dowel rods that I attached earlier, as you can see right here. Alrighty, so this is the contraption I came up with. I attached zip ties with hot glue to the sides of the dowel rods, and when they're squished together, they give a little bit of lift. So now I'm stuffing that inside the tube of fabric, and then I'm going to be attaching it to the top of the bed. And now the canopy is installed, and as you can see, the zip ties are working perfectly. Gives it that little bit of lift, as you can see down the center of it. I'm going to be closing up this gap with a bit of sewing glue, and I'm going to be clamping it shut with some clothespins while it dries, just to keep it shut, because I'm not going to be holding it forever, but yeah. And now onto the curtains, which were arguably the bane of my existence for a couple nights. But anyways, I painstakingly pinned a rolling hem onto all 4 curtains so that we don't get any raw fraying edges while they are hanging. But yeah, and then what I'm also going to do after I've sewn up all these sides is that I'm also going to hem up the bottom. Not going to do a rolling hem for that because that's going to be on the bottom, so it won't be seen as much and won't fray. I'm not worried about that. And then I'm going to be sewing a little pocket for the dowel rod to be inserted so that it can hang up. And yeah, I'm going to go do all that, and then I'll be back when all the curtains are up. And they're up, and oh, my fairy godmother, they look so crisp. I broke out the iron for this to iron them out so that they're nice and sleek and straight, and also is super helpful when I was trying to do the other hems for this. Added some popsicle sticks on the ends, but yeah, this is how it looks. Got this ribbon here that I fray checked, which hopefully it focuses. Give it a second. Hold on. Gotta get the hand out. There we go. I personally did not work with fire. I had my dad do it because while I am an adult, I'm going to have a responsible adult play with fire. Hee hee hee. But yeah, these are going to be the little ribbons that I'm going to tie off the curtains to. The curtains are a little bit shorter than I would have wanted, but you know what? You live and learn. I still love them anyways. But yeah, next thing I'm going to be working on the blanket and pillow. But yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, I love these curtains so much. And now for the blanket, I have this patterned medium pink fabric, and then also I have this these black ribbons that I've been placing in a cross-hatching pattern here. But this is the last of it because I've used so much of this black ribbon on this bed. I also have this light pink cotton fabric that I'm going to be attaching as a top strip on the blanket up here, and I'm going to be lining the back of it with this black satiny fabric. And then I have this ribbon here. I really wish I could have used it. I was thinking about I could put it on the edge of this blanket, but I decided not to because it was like, it might be a bit too much, too many patterns going on. But I bought this ribbon ages ago for a future Briar bed that I knew I would make, but it just didn't fit into this bed in my design that I ended up going with. But yeah, I wish I could have used it, but oh well. Anyways, I'm also going to be gluing these ribbons onto here because heck no am I sewing all those tiny ribbons onto there. But yeah, so as soon as I get more of those, I'm going to finish gluing those, and then now I'm going to go on to the pillow. Alrighty, for the pillow, I used the same light pink fabric that I'm using for the top of the blanket, and then I put a piece of the black lace that I used for the canopy over that, and then I put for the back, I just used the same black satiny fabric. And now I have this pillow here I also created to mimic her little purse that also looks like, you know, like a rolled pillow. This is from a ribbon that I got ages ago for, you know, Briar bed that I knew I would make. And then I got this silver ruffly trim that I sewed around it. And after I stuffed it, I put circles of black felt to end cap it, and I used like hot glue for that. No big deal. But yeah, this is how it looks. I was thinking about trimming the silver trim to make it more accurate, but it's like, you know what, I don't want to ruin it. I don't mind it looking like a giant Tootsie Roll. So, but yeah, this is how it looks. And here's the finished blanket all sewn up. And I also created this throw blanket from a piece of rosette fleece that I've had forever. There's a trend. I've collected supplies for this bed long before I had a design. Lined the back of it with the same pink satin fabric from the Canopy. And now the bed's all finished.
Alrighty, fables and fairy tales. I hope you guys enjoyed that video as much as I did creating this bed. Oh my gosh, this will forever be my favorite bed because it's my favorite character. But yeah, I do have one bed that's planned out but not in the mix yet, so but I'm gonna have to work on that when I get back from my winter break from college. But if you guys have any suggestions of what beds you would like to see, I'm all ears. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Again, I'm just gonna plug my Instagrams. It's at pinky_girl513, as well as my mermaid account, which is at Alexandra the Mermaid. Those will be linked in my Linktree down below. But yeah, if you like this video, leave it a like and leave a comment down below your thoughts, what you want to see next. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, love you guys. Okay, bye.